Hello there. I thought we'll do something a little bit different this newsletter, and I'll do a video on stress and the effect of stress on the body. Because let's face it, we do live stressful lives. So what I want to show in this presentation is how does stress affect our bodies physiologically. There was an interesting book that was written, and it's called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. Quite funny if you think about it. But it works on the principle that when you are stressed, it serves a good purpose for a short period of time. The lion is behind you, it's about to jump onto you. So what do you want to do? You want to run away. But when you run away, you want to celebrate, you want to relax, you're out of danger. The problem is, most of modern society stays constantly in that state where the lion is right behind us, nearly to attack us. In the Neurobiology of Depression journal, it was shown that when you have a stressful or a traumatic event early in your life, it significantly increases your risk for depression and other psychiatric illness in adulthood. So the most important thing is, if you've experienced that stress or that trauma, is to deal with it. And one of the things that one can do is homeopathic remedies that can help release part of that emotion that is stuck in the body. What is stress really? Your brain yells, "Wake up! There's a threat! It's time to act!" So stress is interpreted as anything your body and brain sees as a threat. This could be real, or it could be all the worrying thoughts in your head that you've got that creates a stress situation within your body. Stress is a primal adaptive strategy. It could be fight, flight, or freeze. Think about the last time you were so angry, and we sometimes shake when we're so angry, but we don't like it when we shake because we feel out of control. So what do? We fold our hands to make the shaking stop. Did you know that shaking is actually a natural mechanism for you to get rid of the excess adrenaline that has just been pumping through your body? And where we see this in nature is when the buck just gets away from the lion after he thought, this is it, game over, and he goes, he's relaxed, he's safe, and you'll actually see the buck shake for about a half an hour, this kind of vibration through his body. And then what he will do is he will simply eat grass and go on as if nothing's happened. That is how stress is meant to work. React when there's a situation and then relax. Very important. How is this for an interesting fact? About 80% of all primary care visits to the general practitioner is due to the overexposure to stress hormones. This is huge. Almost all illnesses are stress related. It's caused by stress. It's aggravated by stress. And it's apparently so important, I had to put another slide in. It is caused by stress. Stress is the number one reason why people eat poorly, quit healthy lifestyle programs, and they practice substance abuse. So stress is huge in our daily lives. So one of the things that happens is there's a progression of when we are stressed. And we need to be conscious about it, because otherwise we'll keep living stressful lives and not understand that there is some consequences if we don't balance it out with rest and relaxation. So in this chart by Lyra Heller, you can see you can have acute stress. That's what I've been talking about. But when it becomes chronic, you can be wired, and then it will move on that you will feel tired. So let's just quickly look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, when you go to wired, you're going to feel like you're constantly on edge. You're going to be anxious, depressed. You're not going to be able to sleep. You're even going to have blood pressure problems and acute pain. And once you're in this state, and it depends on your body's physiology how long you stay in this state, you're going to switch over to tiredness. And tiredness is basically you don't have any more fire in your belly to continue to do even daily activities. You could then have where you can't sleep, you can have chronic pain, your immune system could be affected, and autoimmune disorders could be linked to this state of being too tired. So you can get from normal, you can then go wired, and then you can get tired. So you've got two nervous systems, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. The importance of this is when you go into your stress state, you go into sympathetic mode. Now let's see what other symptoms go with this. You can see you can have accelerated heart. So now you might experience anxiety. It inhibits your digestive activity. So the more stressed you are, the more digestive system problems you will have. You will also have contraction of the rectum. So you are most likely going to be constipated. Think about it this way for a moment. The line is behind you. Remember, our brain still perceives stress the same way and releases the same chemicals as 10,000 years ago. So now it thinks the line's behind you. When the line's behind you, your blood is sent to your brain, your heart and your muscles. It says, get ready. You must get ready to go. You must run away from the stress. So what happens is digestion doesn't become important. It's not important to go to the loo. And fertility is not important. There's no time to have a baby. So it's very important that you do want to switch back to the parasympathetic state where you're more relaxed. You can breathe proper. You can help your digestive system. You're going to help feel more relaxed. And in feeling more relaxed, your chemicals in your body is going to follow. And then when the chemicals in the body follow, it's going to affect your organs in a positive way. So getting into a parasympathetic state is essential. I want to spend some time on the next slide, which was done by James B. Lavelle of the Integrated Health Resources. It's a beautiful slide because it gives everything for us what we need to know and understand stress. I want to go to the top. So if you please have a look at the 7 little blocks at the top. If you can understand that stress is not just psychogenic stress we perceive as everyday living, but it is also your diet. So if you eat too much sugar, too much carbohydrates, trans fats, that's like takeout food, oily food, or if you've got food allergies, if you do any of that, your body increases cortisol. You can see that's right in the middle, which is your stress hormone. Drugs can cause increase of stress and cortisol. This could be, for example, if you're on the pill and it takes out the body B12 and also folic acid and zinc. So now when you deplete it in certain nutrients, your body will feel more stressful. Exercise, too much or too little, can increase cortisol on the body. Environmental exposures, pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, plastics, chemicals. They say the average woman, before she walks out the house, has already exposed herself to about 200 chemicals. If you just think in one conventional shampoo, there's probably about 15 chemicals already in that one product. So all that extra exposure increases cortisol, more stress. Your genetics can potentially influence your stress, particularly if you've got a gene where there's faulty called the MTHFR gene. Also, vitamin D deficiency can increase cortisol in the body. The next slide is stress, which we've spoken a little bit about. And then if you've got acute disease or pain, it can also cause increase of cortisol in your body. In the next slides, we're going to go a little bit more into detail about the effect on each system. So let's zoom in and have a look. When you've got increased cortisol, your stress hormone, you will have more inflammation in your body. Now, inflammation is linked to chronic diseases. You will also have your immune system, gut and lymph affected. So when you find like suddenly, I am sensitive to certain foods I have not been before, that could be due to cortisol. If you find that you've got more allergies, and remember, believe it or not, but 80% of your serotonin, your happy hormone, is made in your gut. So when you get stressed and you've become low in mood, you're going to have less serotonin, and irritable bowel syndrome is one of those symptoms that could actually link to chronic stress. Now let's zoom into the brain, and you will see, as we just mentioned, there's less serotonin, which means you could be more anxious, nervous, depressed, or even have food cravings. You might have less melatonin, so your sleep could be disturbed. Two of the factors that influences weight management, so you will battle to lose weight, is ghrelin and leptin. And also your HGH, your human growth hormone, is also decreased. This hormone is responsible for anti-aging. The other symptoms that might happen, particularly in the beginning of stress, is fatigue in the midday. You might have some memory loss, and also salt cravings is a very subtle symptom to start to look out for when you know you're under stress. That's the sign that your cortisol is taking strain. The other thing that happens, as we mentioned, it's long term. You can have increase in blood pressure. You can also have heart irregularities, burnout, a foggy head, and this is all due to our not so buddy cortisol. Alrighty, moving along to the thyroid, pancreas, and liver and kidney. In the thyroid, what happens is the conversion of your inactive thyroid, T4, is not happening as effective to T3. So one of those symptoms would be fatigue and tiredness. Now, your thyroid is very much linked to your adrenal glands. And it's been said if you can catch early enough the problem with the thyroid being adrenal glands, you treat the adrenal glands and the thyroid corrects itself. Now, the thyroid is responsible for motivation and drive, energy, remember hair falling out, linked to thyroid. And a lot of people start, their body temperatures changes. And part of this is the thyroid not being so active anymore. And most of the time people get cold if the thyroid shifts. When we look at the pancreas, it's how your body is using energy again and blood sugar in particular. So when you start to say, I'm battling to lose some weight around my stomach particularly, you need to think that there could be a potential blood sugar issue going on. But let's just think for a moment how this works. The lion is behind you. It's chasing you. You don't get a chance to relax. So you're staying in this state of fight, flight, fright. So your brain says, oh, dude, you're not getting away from the lion. What are you going to do to protect me? So it says, thank you very much. Let me make some fat around my internal organs. Hence, the weight around the belly is to do with chronic stress. Could be blood sugar as well, but chronic stress is a very big factor for weight around the belly. And then the other thing that can happen is with the liver and kidney, because it's not important to detox while you're in this state. The line's behind you. It's not important. So also your liver and kidney detox abilities start to decrease. And then you could have symptoms like headaches, nausea, your urine color could change. All of this can happen with decreased detox abilities. So I do hope that this presentation gave you a little bit of a bigger sense how stress affects our bodies. And we all are different and we need to take that into consideration. So when you have symptoms and it's potentially linked to stress, we obviously want to know what to do. So look out for my next newsletter that I will give you some tools how you can manage the stress and the physiological response that stress has on your body, so we can start to make sure you get into that relaxation state much more quicker. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.